Okay, so I'm back with a video that might seem a bit random, but it's something I want to talk about, and that is, I'm going to talk about the premiere of, I have it on screen just like, Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal. Now, as a general rule, I don't normally like reviewing television shows after just watching their first episode. I like to give it, depending on the length of the season, 3 to 5 episodes. That way all the main characters can be introduced, we can get a general idea about the story, as well as maybe see, plus the pilot usually is filmed months before the rest of the show, so there might be some differences between the first episode and later episodes. But I've been wanting to talk about this since I saw it the other day, I just want to talk about this real quick. I don't have a script, I'm just going to be talking off the cuff for like 5-10 minutes. But before I talk about Primal, I want to bring up two things. One, originally I was going to talk about Samurai Jack, because I watched the show as a kid, and I saw Season 5 when it came out on Adult Swim almost 2 years ago, and I thought the show was good as a kid, and when I first saw Season 5 when it first aired on Adult Swim, I liked it, but rewatching it, I thought it wasn't as good as I thought the first time. I kind of saw a few more problems with it, and like I said, originally I've been wanting to talk about Samurai Jack, but I just never got around to it. Additionally, I also really loved Sym-Bionic Titan. I saw it, I think I was in my teenage years when it came out, and again, sad it only lasted one season. And when I did rewatch it, I think it does hold up, and I was even more disappointed with how it ended. It's like, it ended on a happier ending than Samurai Jack, but sadly, it ended more on a cliffhanger than Samurai Jack did, so and like I said, when I heard about Primal, I was like, I'll watch the first few episodes and get my thoughts on it, just because I wanted to, but after seeing the first episode, I was like, no, I don't want to wait, I want to talk about the first episode now, because I have quite a bit to say about it. So, yeah, and I'm just going to call him Genndy. I have the, basically the opening, or a screenshot on my TV right now. I'm just going to look at the TV a few times to say his name right. So, yeah, Genndy Tartakovsky's, I'm just going to say Genndy, though, to save time, Primal. So, like I said, originally I was going to wait a few episodes before I talked about this show, but I wanted to give my initial thoughts after just the first episode, despite how much I normally don't like doing this, just because I had quite a bit to say about it. So, first and foremost, the show is basically, it's following a caveman in the world where dinosaurs are still alive. And in this first episode, he's hunting, gathering fish for his family, when he comes home and he finds his family get eaten by a group of red dinosaurs, who I'm assuming are the babies of an even bigger red dinosaur. So he decides to get revenge and hunt down these dinosaurs that killed his family. And one thing I should note also early on is that, unlike Samurai Jack, where Jack himself didn't really talk that much, and that's kind of what made a lot of the show interesting, or one of the elements that made the show interesting, I should say, the caveman doesn't talk at all aside the occasional sound, which I thought was pretty cool. Because originally I was like, wait, if he doesn't talk, how are we supposed to relate to this character? But then halfway through the episode, I was like, okay, I really like this guy. And then by the end, I was immediately in love with this guy, despite the fact he didn't say that much. So the second half of the episode, he basically finds another dinosaur, a smaller blue dinosaur, as he was collecting food just for himself, and it takes the food to give to its babies. So he defends the blue dinosaur from the 3 smaller red dinosaurs, and they work together to kill the 3 smaller red dinosaurs and protect the dinosaurs' babies. But then the bigger red dinosaur, who again I'm assuming is either the mother or father of these 3 smaller dinosaurs that the 2 of them killed, comes back and kills the blue dinosaur's 2 babies. So once again they work together, and you get the cover image of him, the caveman, riding the blue dinosaur's back, and they work together to kill the red dinosaur. And that's basically how the episode ends. The caveman decides to go off on his own, but the blue dinosaur doesn't want to leave him, so I guess they're now going to travel together. So, yeah, that's essentially the plot, summarized in just a couple minutes, but like I said, there's some good things about this, and bad things about this I want to talk about. So, the stuff I liked. Like I said, the caveman doesn't talk, and I didn't think that would work, but it does. One thing I should admit, I'm a person who's a bit grossed out by blood in real life, but seeing blood on television, at least with animated shows, doesn't bother me too much, as long as it's not, I guess, if they're not fetishing on the blood and gore, for lack of a better term. So, with Samurai Jack Season 5, they added a bit more blood, which they didn't really have almost at all in the first 4 seasons, but that didn't bother me. So getting a little bit of blood here and there didn't really gross me out too much, and I think it does work to show how violent and dangerous the situation is. Additionally, like I said, for saying almost nothing and just basically just looking at the facial expressions of the caveman, like, you really connect with the guy, you understand what he's thinking. Also, the music helps a lot. And the fight scenes are really awesome. So there are some good things to like, but there is one thing that I'm a bit split on, which is like the main negative I have, and that was the reason why I want to talk about this now rather than wait a few episodes like I was originally going to. Also, another thing I need to point out real quick, I'm aware that more episodes of the show have already been released online, but I'm just going to watch it as it's released on Toonami, Adult Swim, on Cartoon Network, as it's released. So like 1 episode a week. I'm not going to try and skip ahead. And I'm avoiding spoilers, so I can just watch the show whenever it just comes out, 1 episode per week. But for a first episode, this is really strong. But this is the main reason why I want to talk about it. Because for at least a Genndy, Tartakovsky Genndy show, I'm a bit split on this, on the way they decided to tell the story for this one. So here's what I mean. For Samurai Jack, the first episode was essentially setting up the backstory of Jack as a young boy when his village was attacked by Aku. He gets trained for like 10 years. And then he challenges Aku, but then Aku sends him to the future. Then the next 2 episodes are basically immediately following that. Him encountering the dogs. He getting hired by the dogs to protect them from Aku's beetle robots. And then he basically protects the dogs and saves them. And then the next few episodes, like 3 or 4 episodes, are a bit more loose, but there is a bit of, I guess, a little bit of continuity of like of Jack originally like just traveling to find, I guess, a way back home. But then after like episode 6 or 7, almost any episode from the first 4 seasons of Samurai Jack, you can play them in any random order, and it wouldn't really matter because outside the first few episodes and a couple of 2-parters here and there, the story of Samurai Jack is either he's got to kill Aku in the future, or find a way to go back to the past and kill Aku in the past. So, at the very least, when the show started, there was a bit of a, like, overall story beyond just what we're told in the opening. And Sym-Bionic Titan, the first episode, we kind of skipped the backstory. That's an episode like 2/3 into the season where we get the actual origin story. But again, for the most part, the story's a bit tighter than Samurai Jack was, in that you really have to see every episode in order, for the most part, to follow the story. And it is a bit more story-driven. Now, my main issue with that, at least the first season, is that it's suggested the show takes place over the course of a year. And if all we get from that year is just the 20 episodes we got, then there's a couple of plot holes with the story, but that's a different discussion altogether. My point is, at the very least, the first few episodes of Samurai Jack were more connected and have a stronger story. And Sym-Bionic Titan as a whole, for the most part, was also well connected and a stronger story. But here's my thing. After just watching this first episode of Primal, and from what I could gather from the trailer and other commercials I've seen for it, I was thinking this first episode would be 3, 4, 5 episodes in length. And by that I mean the story. Like, I knew going in, when I saw the caveman's family, like, okay, they're gonna die, and odds are he's gonna be a revenge story. And when I saw near the end of the episode, okay, the blue dinosaur lost its kids, okay, that's also part of the revenge story. They have to come together, work together, and get their revenge. But I thought overall, like, the first half of the episode could have been 2 episodes in itself, and the second half of the episode could have been 2 or 3 episodes. So you could have made this first episode, I don't know, 4 or 5 episodes in terms of story. So in terms of, like, basically being, like, a 20-minute single episode, it felt like it was, like, a very strong short film. But, and this is the other thing as well I forgot to mention, at least with Samurai Jack, there was at least somewhat of an opening that explained the story for the show. We didn't really get that with Primal, so I'm hoping the next episode we get more of an opening, because, again, I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but what exactly is going to be the story of this show now if the main opening arc story was done in 1 episode? Like I said, with Samurai Jack, we had the first 3 episodes that was essentially the opening arc. But what's exactly the opening arc for Primal? I thought this would have been like a several episode story First, him losing his family, him going on this emotional journey to want to live and then get his revenge, him working with this dinosaur that also lost his family to get revenge, and then they come together. Like, that could have been several episodes, like I said, so I'm interested to seeing where the story goes. So like I said, overall, I do love this single episode of Primal. Like, it was really well done as a single episode. I'm just concerned where the story's going to go from here. And knowing Genndy Tartakovsky, his shows, at least the one, like I said, I talked about already, are really good. So I do have high hopes for this show. It's just, if they don't really know where they're going to go, then I'm kind of worried. Because this is my main issue, and I want to end with this, with Samurai Jack. And part of the reason why it kind of ended disappointing both Season 4 and Season 5. After the first few episodes of Season 1, like I said, you could play any random episode in any order with another episode, and it wouldn't really matter because the story didn't really matter that much anymore outside of just a couple of multi-parters. So I'm worried now if they're not, and then when Season 5 came back, they actually tried to make it more, like, well-connected of a story, but then it felt a bit rushed, and then it ended on a strong note. So I am curious to see where the story is going to go with Primal, because we don't have, say, an Aku or the evil Empire, I forgot their name, the Mutrati, sorry, from Sym-Bionic Titan. We don't have, like, a set villain for this show. So what exactly is the goal or story supposed to be about? The caveman and the dinosaur just working together? Okay, but what are they achieving? What is their mission? Because they already got their revenge. They killed the dinosaurs. They killed their families. So, like I said, that's just my main concern is, like, where's the story going to go from here? I am going to watch a few more episodes, like I said. And originally I was going to wait. But after seeing this, I wanted to bring this up. And hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe there is going to be more for the show. It's just, I don't want this to kind of fall into the rut that Samurai Jack did. Because I actually did stop watching Samurai Jack after, like, 2 seasons when it was on as a kid. Then I rewatched it, like, middle school, early high school age, and then I saw Season 5. And like I said, initially I liked 5, but rewatching it, it wasn't that strong. So I just think, without a strong story and good pacing, this show may not do well, but I'm hoping they know where they're going with this, because it looks like it has a lot of potential, so here's hoping. But yeah, like I said, that's all I have to say on this. It was just a quick, like, 10 minutes or so, me talking about the first episode of Primal. Gonna keep watching it, and hopefully it's still really good. Thank you for listening to my thoughts on this. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the like button, please comment, and hopefully I'll get back to you, and have a good day. Take care.